of course, there's this other major international conflict going on. That is the war in Israel, the war in Israel and Gaza, also along the border with Lebanon, Israel's involvement with Iran, with Syria. This whole thing going on there really flared up, of course, after the Hamas raid on October 7th in 2023. What are your thoughts about that? What's going on there? What do things look like to you?
It looks to me that Hamas started the conflict without any doubt. They know when you hit Israel in this way that you can expect a war, which actually happens. I also see that the surrounding countries, at least the inhabitants, are all supporting the Palestine case. I see also the government of those countries do not actually 100% support the Palestine case, and that's because of the reason why I'm thinking that is that no country around Israel has allowed for Palestinians to find their safe haven. So all countries completely block the borders for the Palestinians. So that makes me thinking, well, those governments are not 100% Palestine friendly.
Mm.
And personally, what I personally think, for me, sometimes I'm looking to the conflict and I'm thinking that there is a measurement with some double standards. At the moment Israel is throwing a bomb somewhere on some Muslim people, whole Arabic world is against it and they're protesting and so on. But when I'm looking to other conflicts within the Arab world, I look to Yemen. Yeah, there's a big war going on. I do not hear anything in the whole Arabic world, but there are also Muslims who are killed there. We look to Syria, to Assad, but do not hear anything from the Arabic world about it. We look to China, to the Uyghurs. They're really suppressed. The Uyghurs is a very big Muslim community within China, and I do not hear any Arabic country or inhabitants talking about it, discussing that, protesting against it. So that's why I sometimes think that there is a measurement with somehow some double standards, and I hope I explained it well to you, Peter. I
Yeah.
hope you understand what I want to say.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Um, I, now I have heard a lot of protest over those different conflicts. I guess the way I see it is that, what's happening now in Gaza is a lot bigger and it's happening now. Like, for example, the Syrian war is pretty much over. Um, the Yemen war is ongoing, but not with the same intensity as before. And just what's happening in Gaza, it just seems so horrific, such a small population in such a small area suffering so much violence in such a short amount of time. It's just, I don't know, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but it seems to be a uniquely violent and bad situation. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. What's happening there to the people, the just inhabitants, absolutely, Peter, 100% agree. Absolutely terrible. No doubt about. So that's for me no issue, no discussion. And the force that Israel is using to just take out one Hamas leader, but bombing a complete apartment complex with hundreds of people in it just to kill that one Hamas leader. It's just too much. So yeah, I agree with that. The level of violence that Israel is using is, to my opinion, too high. Yeah.
What's the attitude in Europe towards this? Like I know I've gotten the impression over time that Israel is quite closely linked to Europe. They're closer to Europe than they are to a lot of their neighbors. They play in the European Football Conference, for example, and there seemed to be a lot of the migrants to Israel came from Europe, of course. So do Europeans feel a lot of sympathy towards Israel? Are they upset with what Israel is doing? What's kind of the attitude there between Europe and Israel?
Now I look into the history. I think a lot of the first people started to live in Israel came from the Holocaust, from the Second World War, where Germany had tried to exterminate all Jews. So that's the historic connection between Europe and Israel, because a lot of Europe is saying, okay, after World War II, we'll give you your own state, call it Israel. You can live there, you can migrate to there, and that's in your own land. You can defend it, and you can live there. So that's the historical connection. On the other hand, I think I see a lot of protests against the Israel violence within all of Europe, and and it actually doesn't matter which country, all countries, also in the Netherlands. So yeah, there is a big part of the population thinking that the violence of used by Israel is far too high, comparing with what has been done by